Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another episode of the Old Nerdy Bastards, brought to you by Official Nerd Broadcasting. And today I'm riding solo, but I got a really cool subject at hand. And that subject is movies I think that deserve or deserved a sequel. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to hit that subscribe button and hopefully you can give us a like so we can continue to grow this channel and continue to make content for you. And while you're doing that, if you could go ahead and hit that bell notification so anytime there's a video that pops up, you are notified and you don't miss out on it. Now, I also want to say thank you so much for the recent engagement we've had on our shorts and our long form content, that it really does entice us to continue these videos and really grow the Official Nerd Broadcasting channel with more to come down the pipeline. But as I mentioned before, today's video is going to be focused on the sequels that should have happened. And I have about 7 films that I think deserve a sequel. And now you might agree or you might disagree with me. That's the entire point of this video. But I thought I'd get something out today that could resonate with the public. Now, some of the movies here you will wholeheartedly agree, and some of the films you're going to be like, is he for real? I'll make a case for it, and you'll find out why. Starting off at the list, we have Dredd from 2012. Yes, I'm talking about Judge Dredd. It was called Dredd. And we had the incredible Karl Urban step into the role of Dredd. Now, if you think about Dredd, the original film came out, I think, in 95 with Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock. Pretty sure Sandra Bullock was in that. And I was a kid when it came out. And don't get me wrong, as a kid, I've got some fond memories around this movie being on TV repeatedly over and over again throughout the 90s, but I guess it never really resonated. And according to the comic book lore and the fans of Dredd, it wasn't a true adaptation many people, would consider. But when Dredd came along in 2012, it really showed us a gritty version of the character. In fact, it took elements from the Raid, the Indonesian film, where, if you recall, it's Dredd just going through this building and absolutely blasting a bunch of bad guys. Reminds me a little bit of like Punisher Last Kill, but it's such a solid film. And in 2012, the cinematography, the visual effects, it really stood out for its time. I remember the colorful, I can't believe I'm saying colorful, but the blood and the way it all, the exposure happened. Incredible premise as well. Very simple, nothing crazy, but the whole point was, how brutal can that dystopian future look? And they did a great job of recreating that. So Dredd in 2012 was, in my opinion, a pretty solid movie. It's such a shame that we never ever got a sequel. Now, the cool thing is, Karl Urban's obviously blown up since then. He's been in films like Star Trek, and he's also led the ensemble cast of The Boys, and he's done other projects like Mortal Kombat 2 most recently. So maybe there is a future where we get a sequel for Dredd 2. I'm open to it. I'd love to see a nice action flick, in 2027 or whatever the case might be. I don't need a lot of thinking. I just need some blasting. So let me know if you think Dredd deserves a sequel. Now, number 2. This one might be controversial. Some of you might like this. Some of you might hate this. Man of Steel from 2013. Now, here's the thing about Man of Steel. Here's the thing about the entire Zack Snyder DCEU. Visually gorgeous. Storytelling, I did like Man of Steel, though. And in its time, it was a very different depiction of Superman. The thing was, it felt more like an Elseworlds film than it did a traditional Superman film. When you look at James Gunn 2025 depiction of Superman, that is closer to the source material than what Henry Cavill put out with Snyder. But the thing is, when you look at Man of Steel, that film embodies aura farming. I think that's what the young kids call it, aura farming with Henry. To me, he's still the epitome of Superman. Now, as I mentioned before, there are elements of the film that I like, elements that I don't. Killing 10,000 people in the final battle of Metropolis and snapping Zod's neck, not so much. But I thought Michael Shannon was a great villain. I thought the themes around why Superman is the way he was really well put to screen. There are, again, elements that I really don't like letting your dad die because your dad doesn't want the world to know you're Superman. Anyways, the point is, there are great things about this movie that, could have propelled into a sequel. Maybe a sequel would have been done better, getting the feedback that Snyder got from the first movie. But there's one thing you can't deny. Visually, Man of Steel is a gorgeous film and will continue to be such an incredible piece of cinema. And it was done well over a decade ago, right? I still think about First Flight because it's still such a integral part of that movie, and watching him come about, it's still beautiful. The suit design, beautiful. But again, it reminds me that it's more like an Elseworlds movie than it was ever a true Superman movie. Will we ever get a sequel? Highly doubtful, knowing that Snyder and the DCU are dead. But you never know. In the world of cinema, you can never say never. So who knows? Anything is plausible. But I still did enjoy elements of Man of Steel. Number 3 is Constantine from 2005 with Keanu Reeves. I absolutely love this movie. Is Keanu Reeves the greatest actor of our generation? Not even close. We all know that. But when Keanu picks projects, things just work out for him. And to be frank with you, at the time when Constantine first came out, it didn't really resonate with a lot of the audience, but over the years it became like a cult classic. Now, I know that DC and Warner Brothers or Discovery have just, announced that there is a sequel coming with Keanu Reeves, but there hasn't been much follow up. I haven't really heard anything about it. I am amped. I am excited because I think Constantine is such an incredible character. And if there's a way James Gunn could include him in the greater DCU, it would work. He's fantastical. He's their version of Doctor Strange. I think they could do incredible things with that. And Keanu Reeves is just the right guy to portray that character. There are so many things about that original movie that I like: the grittiness, the darkness, the visual aspect, the villain. Oh my God, was it Tilda Swanson that was in the movie that was so brilliant as well? So there are so many things I like about it. And if they do end up making the sequel, hear me out on this, has to be rated R. You can't make Constantine and have it be a PG-13 movie. And it's just not possible. But the cool thing is, in James Gunn's DCU, he doesn't lead projects with the PG-13 rating for everybody. It doesn't work. Creature Commandos was rated R, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. So if he does it, I do think they'll do a great job. I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, I want a sequel to Constantine. Number 4, some might call me crazy for this, but Hancock. Hancock from 2008 with Will Smith and Charlize Theron is an awesome, awesome movie. I don't think I gave it enough credit when it came out. And the thing is, during that same period, in that same year, we had films like The Dark Knight come out. We had Iron Man come out. We had The Incredible Hulk come out. There was a ton of superhero films that kind of overshadowed Hancock. But if you go back and watch Hancock again, I promise you, you will truly appreciate this movie for what it was. It's an original creation. I think Will Smith really portrayed the character very well. The chemistry between him and Charlize Theron, incredible. I would have been convinced that they could have been married off screen. And the fight scenes, the CGI, all that stuff still holds up. Now, I don't know if there's a rumored sequel in the works ever. I haven't heard about it. If you have, let me know. But I do think this film deserves a sequel. And I think it would be a great way to cap off the story of Hancock. I think it's a solid movie. And if you haven't had the chance to watch it, do yourself a favor, go back, take a look. I think you'll be impressed. Hancock from 2008 is a solid movie in my books. Number 5. I have a lot of friends that actually would wholeheartedly agree with this. I don't think you can necessarily make a sequel with this film the way it ended. Maybe you can. But at number 5, I have Chronicle from 2012. That was a breakout movie for a lot of actors, more specifically Michael B. Jordan. That really kind of put him on the map because he went on to do Fruitvale Station. He went on to do other films after that, from Black Panther to Creed, Sinners, many projects. But it is such an incredible film. It is the most appropriate way to look at, I guess, superheroes in a realistic manner. Right? This is a film where 3 teenagers come together. They find this meteor that gives them superpowers, and they're dealing with it in the real world. And there are some severe consequences. But the way they portrayed their characters in the movie was just chef's kiss. It's such a solid movie. The dichotomy, the chemistry between the 3 of them, the constant struggle between good and evil, the way they were raised, their own personal battles, and how their powers are relegated to how they deal with these things. Such a good film. I know it ended in a very, very bleak way, but I still think if there's a way to make a sequel out of it, you could do an offshoot sequel where it doesn't have anything to do with the 3 of them, but another set of characters. It's possible, but I think Chronicle is one of the best, and you might think I'm crazy for saying this, one of the best superhero movies I've seen to date. And that's saying a lot. And it's not in the camp of DC or Marvel, just originality, and I love it. So if you haven't seen it yet, go take a look. Watch Chronicle from 2012. I promise you, you will appreciate it. At number 6, now this one's close to a lot of people's hearts, especially as of late, and that is Spider-Man. Well, more so The Amazing Spider-Man. After 2 with Andrew Garfield, we never got a third one. We moved over to the MCU with Tom Holland taking on the role, but Andrew Garfield did reprise his role as Spider-Man in No Way Home. He even has that incredible scene that brought a tear to everybody's eye when he saved MJ. Alas, we got nothing from there and after that, but the audience has been clamoring for a sequel. They've been wanting a third movie. I've been wanting a third movie, and don't get me wrong, Amazing Spider-Man 2, is it a great film? No. There are some very weak points. I still can't get over the whole musical thing with Electro. That was terrible. But the rest of the film isn't so bad. And I think the way the movie ended, by the way, which has one of the best ending scenes with the little kid Spider-Man and Andrew telling him, all right, you go back, kid, I got this, fighting Rhino. It just led us to believe that there was more in the tank. So I'm open to having another sequel, just one more. Sony, Marvel, you're listening to us. Give us one more. And more recently, actually, some concept art came out from a potential sequel that was going to be announced, showing his universe's Dr. Octopus and also the Sinister Six. So they had plans, but it got ditched, obviously, for the MCU. But who's to say in this universe where a movie like No Way Home has generated almost $2 billion, and for the record, Brand New Day has generated $2 billion in 17 days. The world is constantly clamoring for Spider-Man. So I'm still hopeful, maybe a little too much and a little too optimistic, that one day we will get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, but that would be a sequel that would absolutely kick ass, no pun intended. And finally, number 7. This one's going to make a lot of people upset, rightfully so, I don't blame you. That's Black Adam from 2022. Now, hold on, don't come at me with the pitchforks and all that. Don't get mad at me. The thing about Black Adam, awesome character, the right guy. Okay, Dwayne Johnson, right guy. Ending, epic. It could have gone into such a universe where we would have seen Superman and the Justice League and Black Adam. There were so many good things, but so many bad things. The Rock trying to become the face of DC. What a wild concept. Absolutely not, especially using Black Adam. Not only that, but also disregarding the existence of Shazam. Wild concept. The ego really got to him. Had that not been in place and we placed Black Adam as the B-tier character that he is, there were some great elements in that film. The visual aspect of it was gorgeous. The CGI was good. Story, but it could have had a great future. And had that universe continued, I can't imagine a universe where Superman fighting Black Adam could be a bad thing. I think it would look visually incredible. I think they could have integrated him into the DCEU really well. Do I see a world where we're going to get a Black Adam 2? Obviously not. But it's just one of those movies that I thought I'd put on the back burner because why the hell not? It wasn't such a good film. There were elements of that film that were good. Had the ego not got into place, I think we could have had a cool sequel. And the thing is, as fans, when we got to see that last scene with Henry Cavill step back in as Superman, I had heart palpitations. I was like, man, we're going somewhere with this. And alas, nothing came from it. It is what it is. But I wish it did come to some kind of fruition. Oh well. So that is my list of the 7 films that I think should have and could have deserved a sequel. And I already mentioned, I'm going to throw in there quickly, is Michael Keaton's Batman. Like, had we not gotten Batman Forever under Joel Schumacher, but under Tim Burton, which, by the way, had tons of concept art online. You can look it up. Michael Keaton at the last minute declined it due to the script with Schumacher, but Burton had a vision for that film. It just never came to fruition. I thought that would have been a cool inclusion as well. But if there's a movie I missed in there that you think would make a solid sequel, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to cover it. I want to get your thoughts on the movies I did cover. Have you seen the movies I've mentioned in this list? And if you haven't, what movie are you looking forward to the most to check out? This is OMB, this is Romi, and I'll catch you in the next video. So peace.